Hello and welcome. It's 3 o'clock and it's time for the latest update from the newsroom. I am Esther Vasey. Austin Agbonlahor has been appointed the Plateau State Commissioner. Agbonlahor replaces Ondi Andy, who has been redeployed by the police authorities. His appointment as the police commissioner of the Plateau State was before his appointment, he was in charge of operations at the force headquarters in Abuja. Senators and members of the House of Representatives have adjourned plenary over the death of Funke Adedoyin, a lawmaker in the lower legislative chamber. While members of the lower legislative chamber will resume on Thursday, those in the Senate would reconvene on Wednesday. Adedoyin passed on in Abuja on September 28 after fighting with cancer. She was aged 56. Now, until her death, she represented Ekiti, Isin, and Irekpodun Okero Federal Constituency of Kwara State in the House. The Federal High Court in Lagos State has granted bail in sum of 250 million naira to an aide of Senate President Bukola Saraki, Gbenga Makanjuola. Saraki is facing charges of an alleged fraud of 3.5 billion naira. Justice Babs Kuewumi granted Makanjuola, who is Saraki's deputy chief of staff, the bail with two shorties in like sum. Makanjuola's co-defendants Kolawole Shitu and Obiora Amobi were equally granted bail in the same conditions. A suicide bomber targeting an Afghan election candidate has killed at least 8 people, days ahead of a parliamentary vote that militants have vowed to disrupt. Another 10 people were wounded when the attacker blew himself up inside Salam Mohammed Azizkar's campaign office in the southern south of Lashkar Gah. Askizai was among the injured. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has spoken with Finance Minister Nala Nene, and the president is expected to make a decision on the minister's future soon. The finance minister was summoned after he acknowledged in a hearing that he had visited the Gupta family, friends of former leader Jacob Zuma, and accused them of corruption. Now, both Zuma and the Guptas have denied any wrongdoing. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has invited Pope Francis to visit the country. The invitation to visit Pyongyang will be delivered by South Korean President Moon Jae-in, who will be in the Vatican next week as part of a trip to Europe. No pope has ever visited North Korea, though the late Pope John Paul II was once invited. Now, North Korea and the Vatican have no formal diplomatic relations. The International Olympic Committee (IOC) has announced Senegal as the host country for the next edition of the Summer Youth Olympic Games in 2022. Senegal will be the first African nation to host the event, beating 4 other African countries, that's Botswana, Nigeria, Senegal, and Tunisia, who were also bidding for the event. Wayne Rooney says Jose Mourinho has become an easy target at Manchester United and believes the players must take responsibility for the club's slow start to the season. The club has been forced to dismiss reports claiming that Mourinho is set to lose his job at Old Trafford, and Rooney believes that Portuguese has been made a scapegoat for the club's underperforming players. Sierra Leone has appealed against its suspension by World Football's top body on charges of government interference. The Sierra Leone Football Association has sent a letter to FIFA asking it to lift the suspension so that the country can play Ghana in looming qualifiers for the African Cup of Nations. And that's been the latest from the newsroom. Thank you very much for watching. I am Esther Vasey.